The Export-Import Bank of the United States. Have you ever heard of it? It's not like your local credit union. It spends billions of your taxpayer dollars to finance international trade. The EXIM Bank claims that it fills the gaps on international trade to help small businesses and thus grow domestic jobs. But our auditors at OpenTheBooks.com found that $1 out of every $3 since 2007 went to one big corporation. The Boeing Corporation soaked up $66 billion worth of cheap U.S. taxpayer-backed financing through the Export-Import Bank. That's $1 out of every $3 that was lent since 2007. In total, the bank lent $234 billion, your tax dollars, to subsidize deals from around the world. Does the Boeing Corporation, with access to the world's most sophisticated financial markets, need U.S. taxpayer help? Well, we know the answer to that. They don't need taxpayer help, but they want taxpayer help. During the Trump administration, Boeing couldn't get deals out of the EXIM Bank for 3 years because Trump refused to appoint new board members to the Export-Import Bank, so they didn't have a quorum, so they couldn't vote on the big deals. And Boeing, they did just fine. But it gets worse. The countries that are openly hostile to the United States, think Russia, China, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, they've soaked up billions of dollars worth of cheap U.S. taxpayer-backed financing to back trade deals in their companies, oftentimes when the state government owns the company that we're backing. As a matter of fact, these countries were some of the ones that benefited the most. China was the 5th country receiving the most U.S. taxpayer-backed trade deals. Saudi Arabia was number 3. Turkey was number 6. Since the EXIM Bank expressly says they exist for small businesses across America, just how much money on the taxpayer-backed financial deals flowed to small business? Our auditors summed all the trade deals benefiting U.S. small businesses since 2007. And the Export-Import Bank financed a little shy of $55 billion worth of trade deals. Let's take that versus one company, the Boeing Corporation. And they received, since 2007, $66 billion worth of U.S. taxpayer-financed international trade deals, much of it for airplanes. According to Delta Airlines, that's destabilized the U.S. domestic airline industry because Delta now has to compete on an international basis with cheap foreign carriers that have reduced the cost of their fixed investments, airplanes, because of the U.S. cheap finance backing these trade deals. Delta says they hire fewer U.S.-based workers because of the Export-Import Bank. Since 2007, our auditors at OpenTheBooks.com quantified over 46,000 financing transactions for total lending approvals of over $234 billion. Out the door, shipped and dispersed, it was $201 billion backed by you, the United States taxpayer. And the top 3 U.S. corporations receiving the most benefit from the Export-Import Bank was Boeing at $66 billion, and Bechtel at $5 billion, and the General Electric Corporation north of $2.8 billion. That's U.S. taxpayer-backed trade deals for big corporations, and they don't need your help. Ronald Reagan said that the best example of eternal life on Earth is a government bureau. They never go away. Export-Import Bank was started by Franklin Roosevelt, the president, in 1934, during the Great Depression, to help U.S. exporters on an international basis. It's a relic. Today, it's a hotbed of insiderism, cronyism, corruption, and taxpayer abuse. And the U.S. taxpayer is subsidizing authoritarian regimes, dictatorships, and destabilizing U.S. domestic industries. It's time for the Export-Import Bank to go.